So I want to talk to everyone about a situation that took place in January of 2020. This situation took over 3 months, as well as it was over 320 man hours of Adam Faldmo, myself, handling this situation. I want to talk about what is called, I've chosen to talk about on my reflection, is annual incentive plans. Now, I'd like to introduce, this is also called an AIP process. I want to actually introduce something called Adam's Incentive Plan, also known as AIP. So the purpose of this is the amount of time that has been spent on that, like I said before, of over 3 months of evaluating this and over 320 hours of an individual's time. We want to try to avoid confusion and increase employee satisfaction. Now, currently, amongst team members, there has been expressed a lot of confusion amongst the team members in the incentive plan process. In 2019, 63% of our team members stated they were not aware of the full incentive plan process. So obviously, if 63% of the team members are not aware of these circumstances and are looking at it from a process of they're unaware, then obviously things need to be looked at with this annual incentive process or incentive plan. So like I said, I want to revise it instead of calling it an annual incentive plan to Adam's incentive plan or just an incentive plan. So currently, I want to look at bonuses and merit increases. Right now, with my situation, we're looking at both of those on a yearly basis and not separating those two processes. They're both basically combined in one. What we look at also as well is there is a current rating system that we have available where it's a five-point rating system. Sometimes you'll see this with a lot of companies. It's either a 1 through 5 rating. Let me kind of explain what this means with the 5 ratings of how a team member can be rated for incentive plans. You have does not meet, you have meets some, meets, exceeds some, and exceeds most. So if we look at those 5 things, we wonder why these things are creating confusion for our team members. How do you decide of what is exceeds some, most or exceeds some? How do we define that? And if team members could actually make an argument at any point in the incentive process that I actually do exceed most. So my proposal and I'm proposing is this because this is a very relevant situation because we are coming out at the end of 2020 into a new 2021 incentive plan process. So as I look at this, I want 3 ratings, and what it is exceeds, meets, and does not meet. Very simple for our team members to know if they're exceeding, meeting, or not meeting. As well as in this incentive process that I'm proposing, is we look at the more frequency of the bonuses. Instead of on an annual basis, we look at it on a quarterly basis. Because that way, team members, if they're just know that they have an annual bonus, they also don't know where they stand as far as throughout the year. So if they're given quarterly bonuses, then they can know where they stand and where their ratings are. Kind of like I said before, I know that my rating for a particular quarter exceeds for quarter 1. For quarter 2, I maybe was a meets. So I know where I'm on track. That way there's no surprises at the end of the year where all of a sudden I'm getting this bonus and I was a meets. But I do think with the incentives, the bonuses can be given on a quarterly basis. Then part of the incentive plan is we look at the merit pay raises on a yearly basis. Now currently with my company as well, for the incentive plan, we're looking at what's called 7 key performance indicators. 7 of them. Now, I think 7, in my mind, 7 is way too many things for the team member to focus on. In my mind, things should be looked at in 3 to 4 things at a time. So I'm proposing that instead of 7 key performance indicators, we look at 4. Plus another situation we ran into in 2019 incentive plan process is we actually changed what the KPIs were for that entire year, and midway through, and that was done in August 2019. We changed the game. So in my mind, you stick to your game, stay to what you have agreed to and what you have communicated to your employees and team members. So mine is 4 key performance indicators to help this happen. Now, another thing that, since we're looking at key performance indicators, right now, quarterly or annual performance evaluations are done merely only on performance. I'm a proponent to change this, to look at the team members' behaviors. This actually will allow us to actually bump up people and allow team members to differentiate themselves from other team members. If we're only looking at performance but not looking at how are people differentiating themselves in their behaviors, whether that's their interactions with their fellow team members or peers, or their customers or members of this company. But I think we need to define the behaviors and define them clearly and communicate that these are the values and the behaviors that we want you to demonstrate to allow you to get a higher incentive plan rating, so you can get an exceeds. This way, an employee can move from a meets to exceeds. Lastly, I think it's very imperative to be humanistic with the incentive plan. What I mean by being humanistic is not just a check the box mentality. A lot of times in the incentive plan process, it's either you have this form you need to fill out. You need to check the box and write kind of what the employee, how they did in that performance objective. And then you just give them a letter. I think in this process, besides defining the behaviors, we need to look at it, meet with the team member, meet with them on a quarterly basis. That's why I'm a component of the quarterly basis bonuses, is meet with them, tell them where they're at, tell them how they can become better, leverage their strengths, develop their limitations, and not just hand them at the end of the year, here's your incentive plan and merit increase and bonus, or here's your scorecard for the year. But be humanistic. If we are humanistic, then we can accomplish the things we need to. So I want to throw this last thing is on stats. 80% of employees report positive results when they are actually coached on performance, productivity, and their overall well-being. So to summarize, my call to action on the incentive plan is 3 rating system, quarterly bonuses, annual merit, moving the simplification of 4 key performance indicators, allowing for behaviors to be a higher driving result to allow employees to increase their overall incentive plan rating. And lastly, I think this may be the most important one, is to be humanistic throughout the process and not just a check the box mentality. Hope everyone enjoys this, and everyone good luck as you do incentive plans for your roles or with your companies.